The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
So I'm very fortunate to have John Wayne Murdoch on the podcast. John Wayne Murdoch, how are we, man?
I'm good. Sorry that this took so long to get together.
It's all right. We finally made it work. Do you know what I mean? For the different times.
For sure.
How have you been? You been good?
I'm good. Just getting ready for TOS, and then after that, Japan.
Yeah. How long are you going to be out in Japan for?
I think like 9 days, something like that.
That's for GCW, isn't it?
What now?
That's for GCW, if I'm correct.
ICW.
ICW, yeah, sorry.
Yep.
So you've got Survival of the Fittest coming up.
Oh yeah. It's this weekend gonna be good. Get Mr. Danger first round.
That is, man. I mean, how does one prepare for that tournament?
Man, just get ready to go multiple rounds if you're needed. Just mentally prepare yourself to do it. I've done a couple now, so it's not really a big deal for me. But I can understand like a new guy getting in death matches, being at TOS, like how much pressure that would be.
Yeah. So you mentioned obviously the death matches. So what draws you to deathmatch wrestling?
I think it's just the fans being able to go out there and just roll around in glass and just being able to make a grown man like jump up and down with just like a single light tube or something like that. I just enjoy it.
Yeah. What would you say is the worst weapon or object to be hurt with?
Toothpicks. They're horrible.
Toothpicks.
Yeah, I've had a couple broke off in the back of my arm. One time, me and Marcus Crane, I brain busted him on some, and they broke off in the back of his neck, in the back of my arm. They're just horrible. They break off. They bury themselves into your skin. You can't get them out. They suck.
I mean, I always thought the light tube itself and glass hurts the most. Do you know from when you're looking at it?
Yeah, glass it does hurt, but more about you can get cut. But like stuff like barbed wire and stuff like that, that shit sucks.
Awesome. So obviously you're off to Japan for 9 days. What would you say the plans are for the rest of 2025 for you?
Hopefully to go back to Japan. I want to make one or two more trips. I want to make one more trip off this visa, and then just see other places I haven't seen. Like I just want to do everything I can this year.
Have you been fortunate to come to the UK?
Yeah, a couple of times for Rise and TNT.
Awesome. Is that something that you'd like to get back into, like coming back over here?
Yeah, I'm going to Scotland in September, and I was wanting to stay longer and do more stuff. It just didn't plan out. But yeah, I love the UK.
The UK, in my opinion, has one of the best fan base around the world. Do you agree?
Oh, the songs, the way the fans chant, they come up with like cool chants. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So you've been a regular for GCW for quite some time now. Who would you say has been some of your favorite opponents that you've been in the ring with?
Man, I've had a lot of opponents. I think honestly the Briscoes, when me and Reed Bentley got to work the Briscoes for GCW, that meant a lot, just having that match. So yeah, I think the Briscoes, I've always enjoyed working with Nick Gage, Tremont. But yeah, if there was a list and I had to put somebody at the top, it'd be the Briscoes.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a shame what happened to Jay.
No, yeah, 100%.
Unbelievable talent. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best tag teams in the world. Like top 5, easy.
Oh yeah, it was a team that me and Reed always wanted. We never thought we'd get the chance, and then it finally happened.
Yeah, you've been very fortunate to have stepped in the ring with some of the greats, and then some up and comings like Zilla, Fatu.
Oh yeah. Man, what a beast! You're fighting for your life in that match.
Yeah, that was a good match.
Thank you. I don't think he'll ever do a death match again, but he enjoyed it. He trusted me, so
Yeah, Zilla Fatu said that he's not been in the business that long. I think he's been in like 2 years this year. He's on one hell of a run at the moment.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So where did you first discover wrestling?
Oh, when I was younger, just my dad would take me to like the National Fairgrounds. We'd go watch like Wolfie D, PG-13, uh, and all those guys. Jeff Jarrett when he was younger, shit like that. And then I just always it stuck with me. And I always wanted to be a wrestler, and I got into it when I was like 13. I started training.
So you started training at 13 and you've been in the business how long now, would you say?
Uh, I'm 35, 36 now, so over 20 something years.
Wow. It's a
Yeah, I've
long
been.
time, eh?
Yeah, I've been more. I've been a longer a pro wrestler than I have been anything else at this point in my life.
That's crazy. Is this your full-time gig?
Yes.
That's amazing. There's
Yeah.
there's some performers that are not fortunate to do that yet.
It took me a while. It took a lot of years. It's not something that happens out of the gate. It took me really 20 years, 19 to 20 years to start making enough and getting traction and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's definitely not something that just starts out paying your bills.
Oh yeah. What would you say are some of the biggest opportunities that you've had?
I think doing GCW was the biggest opportunity that really opened doors for me. Because doing GCW opened Japan 3 times. I went to the UK. So yeah, I think the biggest opportunity, the biggest breakthrough was getting GCW.
Yeah. What would you say Brett Lauderdale is like as a boss?
Cool. Just don't try to have a conversation with him online. It's hard to get a hold of. Nah, he's cool. I know people. There's all promoters have a hang up or there's like a negative or whatever because they're running a business and wrestlers. They either want more or want less. So all wrestlers can find something wrong with a promoter, but Brett does what he can. He's fucking running almost 70 something shows a year, like insane schedule. The shit that he has to keep up with his mind, and he does it. Like, yeah, I commend him on that.
Hmm. So what would you say is the most rewarding thing about being a professional wrestler is?
The fans, just the interactions with them, knowing that like something you've done either touch them or it's going to stay with them for a while. Like they're going to remember it for the rest of their lives, stuff like that. Like just the connections you have with fans.
You mentioned the connection with fans. Is there one encounter that you've had with a fan that you can say that sticks to mind or comes to mind that you will
Uh,
always remember?
Not really. I think it's any of them. You have so much of them. I don't want to say they start to blend together, but like so many times you have somebody come up to you like, oh, that match I've seen you when I was a kid. Like now I'm getting the whole like I watched you as a kid type like wrestlers like Little Sicko. The first time I wrestled him, he was like, hey, I was a kid watching you outside. So now I'm starting getting things like this. Like I was younger watching you and this and that. So yes, it makes me feel a little old, but still it's cool.
Fair enough. So you mentioned obviously deathmatch wrestling. Is there some deathmatch wrestlers in the UK that is your favourite that you like to watch or you've been in the ring with?
Love Drew Parker. Can't say not enough good things about Drew. He's great. My first time in Japan, he really showed me the ropes. Like him and Cologne both, like really showed me, hey, this is how you handle this situation. This is how you carry yourself. So that was a big help. I love Big Joe. Big F and Joe's great. Lou Nixon. There's so much talent there. It's great.
Yeah, you got another guy, Tim Strange. He's
Oh yes, I've met him once. We've talked online a bunch. Great guy, great guy.
yeah, a death match between you and him would be awesome.
Oh yeah, it'd be sick.
Is that something that you'd love to do?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I don't turn any death match away. So let's do it.
So obviously, deathmatch wrestling, it must take it. Would you say it takes a certain someone to tolerate that pain or get into that? Because obviously, your wife and your family must be like, "Dad, that hurts," or that's bad.
No, actually, my family they travel a lot with me, and like they've been around it for since I've started doing the death matches, so they're used to it. My girl gets a little worried sometimes, like if there's a lot of glass or like the scaffold bumps and stuff like that. But I think as far as being a person that does this, you have to hate yourself just a little bit, just enough to go out there and mutilate yourself. Because I mean, a lot of people like they know the shit that's going on there is real, and they know that we're getting cut. I think some fans don't realize how like we're living with that for the rest of our lives. You're there watching it for 20 minutes, but we've got to live with what we're doing for the rest of our lives. Either the scars, the damage you're doing to your body. I mean, we still don't fully know about CT and the effects, so you're just, all that's just in your head constantly.
Yeah, 100%. What would you say the worst injury that you've had?
I've been fortunate to not have that many bad injuries. I fucked my knee up once when I at CCW. That was years ago. That still bothers me. But like maybe a cut, one of the cuts on my shoulders that I had to get stitches for, maybe the worst. But yeah, I've been lucky enough to not have too many like horrible injuries.
Yeah, and I think for you to not have that many injuries, you've been quite lucky seeing that you've been doing it for 20 plus years.
Oh yeah, yes, I'm definitely lucky to has been doing it this long and still holding up as well as I am.
Oh yeah, well that's amazing. I mean, so obviously a 13-year-old John Wayne Murdoch got into wrestling, but where did the idea of deathmatch wrestling come from?
That come way later. I was like 2011, and oddly enough, there was a guy that dropped off King of Death for Ian, and I had done a tryout for IWA in like 2008. So I guess my name was fresh in Ian's mind, or he thought about me, but he had somebody reach out to me and wanted to know if I wanted to do King of Death. I had no clue what the fuck I was getting into. Like I was like, okay, you want to do some hardcore stuff? Great. I walk in to this King of Death totally blind of like what the fuck I'm getting into. And I just go out there and me and Simon Says have this match, and it was just natural. Like I was like, oh, this is cool. And I just fell in love with it since then.
That's awesome, man. So obviously GCW Deathmatch Wrestling, CCW, Rise, TNT. What would you say the end goal for you is?
Uh I don't know. I don't really have an end goal. I think right now I'm transitioning into being in all the tournaments, winning everything, to now like being the guy that helps the younger talent reach that goal or whatever. Like I don't want to take spots away from anybody and stuff like that. Like I just want to help the younger generation and make sure that death matches are in good hands.
Oh yeah, 100%. Was you in the arena when Matt Cardona and Nick Gage had that death match?
No, I was not there. It was right before I think I come back to GCW.
What was your opinion on that match?
It was great. I like Cardona. Cardona is good for business. He takes shit serious. He helps promote. The fact that he called himself the Deathmatch God or the Deathmatch King or whatever he was doing just brought more eyes that wouldn't be on us. So I respect that.
Yeah, Matt Cardona, I think since he left WWE like 5 years ago, has reinvented himself a lot better.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Who's your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling? Whether that's deathmatch or just professional wrestling in general?
I think it'd have to be Mick Foley, Terry Funk. For me, like I'm always gonna be a fan of Nick Gage. Two more would probably be right now. I would say the greats Takeda from Japan, and I'd have to say still Jun Kasai because he's still going hard. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've been in the ring with a lot of people. Who haven't you been in the ring with that you would love to?
Man, that list is small. I've done everything. Probably Tim Strange now. Yeah, I guess some of the guys that are coming up right now that I haven't got to be in the ring with. Yeah,
Is
so
this
maybe
just
what now?
sorry?
Go ahead.
Is this just deathmatch or is this just normal matches as well? Tim Strange.
Death matches. I know a lot of people say they don't want to be pigeonholed, and I'm not just a death match guy. Like I take pride in just wanting to do death matches. Like I guess it's weird. I pigeonhole myself. Yes, I can wrestle. I've been in TPI. I've wrestled Chris Hero and shit like that. Like I can wrestle, but like this is what I enjoy. I'm a deathmatch wrestler. I don't take any offense to being called a deathmatch guy. That's what I am. That's what I love. So all these matches, like yes, I want them in a death match because that's who I am.
Awesome. So with you being put in a death match, and obviously you putting pretty much your life on the line, and you guarantee to get hurt more. Does that mean your price goes up a little bit more?
Oh yeah, definitely. You definitely work with a deathmatch rate and then a regular rate. Yes,
Okay.
100%.
What is the difference?
Uh, a few hundred
Okay.
difference.
So deathmatch wrestling rate is like where for you is like where the money is.
Yeah, yeah, yes, most definitely.
Right. Okay. That's awesome. That. I mean, you there's a few matches that I've seen. And sometimes when I'm watching it and my family's in the room, it's like, oh, do you like that? Like, oh, turn it off, turn it off. But I've seen yours with Zilla. I've seen Nick Gage's and Zack Ryder. Well, Mike Cardona. Sorry, I've seen Chris Jericho and Nick Gage. I've seen a fair few, and then I've seen a few Japanese ones as well. But it's got to hurt, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. It definitely doesn't take it doesn't take much to fuck you up. It's
Yeah, God.
small room for error.
Yeah. How long does it take to put like a death match together?
I mean, depending on who you work, it can come together easy. Especially if the guys have done this together a whole lot of times. Or I mean, you have your set like this is what I do, this is what you do. Let's put it together. I mean, it don't take long. Just getting your weapons together. That's one thing is like getting all the guys there and all the matches fight. Like if there's not a stip, and it's not this match is a pain in the ass match or pain in the glass match. All these guys have to get there, and then we're all fighting over the selection of weapons, to try to make all the matches different. And sometimes that doesn't always happen. So some shows all matches have glass or they have the doors or the setups. It's because we're all getting there. We're all trying to fight over the same selection of weapons.
Yeah. What would you say the longest match that you've had for a death match is?
I've had two 60-minute Iron Man death matches.
Fucking
And
hell.
yeah, and those were brutal. I had one with Eric Ryan. Well, I had one first with Orin Veidt and then Eric Ryan. I'm probably going to do one more at some point, and then I'm done with that because like being in there for an hour is just fucking brutal.
Yeah. An hour. I couldn't do that. Physically couldn't do that.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Oh, most definitely. And the fact that you're in there for an hour and there's glass, there's doors, there's probably tacks, there's steps, chairs, barbed wire, baseball bats, there's everything. And you're like, an hour? How long? So obviously you do a death match for an hour. How long would it take you to heal or like walk about?
Oh man, you're Healing time for me is pretty much just non-existent because like I said, I try to do multiple death matches in a weekend, like multiple death matches in a month, sometimes multiple in a day. So like I've got cuts on top of cuts. I got some healing, some fresh, some in
Mm.
between. Like so, like I don't know if I ever get fully healed in a month, but usually a couple of weeks. Like if you're just a one deathmatch guy a month, you're probably gonna
Yeah,
take a few weeks to heal from that, all the cuts and everything like that.
fair enough. So you must be a big fan of ECW then from back in the day.
A little bit, yes. Like I liked Sabu and stuff like that, but I wasn't like a major fan. It didn't like drive my deathmatch like appetite at all.
Yeah, but you're into that hardcore style wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like the brawling and stuff like that. Yes.
So do you keep in? Would you say AEW is more like that? Do you know with the matches that they do?
Yeah, I think AEW is a good alternative to WWE as far as like, yeah, and they're doing some deathmatch stuff. They did explosions. I think they've did tubes at this point with Gage and them, and then I think Willow Nightingale and them did tubes. Yeah, I think they definitely have the ECW esque type feel to them. They
Mhm.
could lean into it more, but
Is there anyone from AEW that you would love to step in the ring with for a death match?
Eddie Kingston.
Oh, okay. I can see
Yeah,
that.
I've been around Eddie a lot. IW Mid South and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to match with him, and I think we could tell a good story.
That would be interesting. Really interesting. That'd be a good match, actually. Yeah, honestly, that'd be a real good match. So, an inspirational message from yourself, what would it be?
Man, from my like telling myself, or just from me to other people.
You- We'll do both. Let's do both.
All right, so to other people, I just say that if you want to get into deathmatch wrestling, learn to wrestle first. I spent over 10 years wrestling before I ever even knew what a deathmatch was, and it made me better for it. I think so many guys just jump straight into death matches and they don't understand the fundamentals of actual wrestling, and then it just comes off looking horrible. So like that, if inspirationally, like just take all your time you can, don't rush it, don't get into death matches too early. Just wrestle, get a good base under you. Inspirational message to me would be not to have fucked around so early on in my career. I was so young, and I spent the first 5, 8 years just fucking off and not really collecting anything, not really retaining anything as far as like what I was doing and the progression I made. Like most of that shit's blank to me because I was so young and just so immature. It flew by. So I wish I could get that back.
Yeah, awesome, man. I love that. So, what I want to know is what is the let me get the words right. Origins of the name John Wayne Murdoch.
So I was Damian Payne at first, and it just wasn't working. Not it was no gimmick. It was horrible. So I did the IWA tryout in 2008, and Ian was like, "Man, you look like Dick Murdoch so much." And I'd always heard that, especially being from the South and wrestling in Tennessee and Nashville and stuff. I was like, "Man, you favor Dick Murdoch. You're a Murdoch. You're built like a Murdoch." So I was like, okay, I'll just run with this. So I quit. I like walked away from wrestling for like a couple of months and then just come back immediately with the John Wayne Murdoch gimmick. And yeah, it's worked ever since. Like I even did my first death match in 2011 as Damian Payne and then just did the gimmick. But where it come from was just guys over time just telling me how much I looked like Murdoch. And I was like,
That's
okay,
awesome.
I'm gonna use it.
Awesome.
And John Wayne's my like El Dorado is my favorite movie. Like, I like John Wayne movies, so it was an easy.
And it's catchy as well, and it rhymes.
No, yeah, 100%.
Oh, it's like a money-making name, and it John Wayne Murdoch goes together.
Yeah, it did rhyme. I was worried that it was going to be 2. I was like, man, that's 3 names. And I was like, fuck, but it worked. And plus, people short JWM. It all works.
Yeah. So, where can people find you?
I'm on social media. People are my Twitter. My original Twitter got taken down. It got shadow banned and fucking removed. So I had to make a new one. John Wayne Murdoch. You can find me on there. Duke of Hardcore. American Deathmatch Ace. Sorry, I'm rebranding right now from the Duke of Hardcore to the American Deathmatch Ace. But you find me on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, just John Wayne Murdoch, and I'm approachable. You can hit me up. I'm not a dick, so
It's pretty much accurate with what you've just said. No, seriously, man. John Wayne Murdoch, thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate your time. And do you know what? I'm going to definitely check out more of your work. So, if you're a fan of, like I said, I'm a fan of Deathmatch Wrestling. So, the fact that I've had you on, we finally worked it out. I do appreciate it.
thank you. And anybody else that hasn't seen a lot of my stuff, I would suggest watching my history with Eric Ryan. Go back to ICW NHB 1, our first match, and then watch all of our other ones and just the story me and Eric tell in each one. So I think that's a good starting place if you haven't seen me.
Definitely. I'm going to go and have a look at that one probably pretty much as soon as we finish this one.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you for coming on. I do appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Yes, thank you.